All right, you know what? I'm gonna start off in the hot seat, man. I don't like not being in the hot seat. I feel like if we're gonna be in here, we need to be in the hot seat in the first place. All right, listen. We're gonna talk difference between a go-getter and people that's just big talkers, right? You get spotted in conversations. That don't mean you gotta let it be known. That don't mean you gotta blow their spot up. But like this is a lot of what I talk about. I mean, staying grounded, staying understanding like where you're at, right? That don't mean you gotta display what you do. Like everybody's work ethic, what everybody do is different than each other. Everybody ain't on the same move, right? Like I'm not doing the same things you doing at all the same times, and that's fine, right? Everybody has their own movements. My thing is this: be honest about how you move and be confident in what you do, right? If all right, let's just for say if and this is just me. If what I'm doing is I'm a janitor, right? And I'm hitting up the floors, I'm mopping up the floors, and that's how I'm making my hustle. It is what it is. Somebody come up, whatever, female, dude, whatever. It's like, what's your thing? My thing is this: if that's my hustle and I'm not proud of it, I can't date right now. Why? Well, for the simple fact that if I'm not confident in me and what I do, then how can I expect anybody else to be confident in me, right? And that's cool. But the other point being like, all right, just because I'm not confident in myself at the same time, I'm not trying to be sitting here dating somebody, knowing I don't have the funds to date really, right? That's me. But if you ask me what I do, this is what I do. Why? That's where life got me right now. But if you got a better hustle for me, let's get it. But at the same time, I'm gonna be on my P's and Q's to go to the next spot. Now, circumstances vary. And if circumstances vary, you know who you are, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking a whole bunch of, you know, dumb shit. I mean, I'm just being honest. But you're gonna know who you are and you're gonna know what I'm talking about, right? So let's move to the next. Let's go ahead and say right about now, you know, I am that guy in that next bracket that's saying that I'm doing this or that and I'm moving to the next. Some people are still stagnant. I don't really care what you tell me and what you say. Are you stagnant or are you trying to ascend it? If you're stagnant, are you stagnant in a good place? Like if you stagnant and you in the top 15, hey, I can't knock you. If you stagnant and you're not and you're happy and you're good with your life, then all right, yo, there's nothing that I can tell you that could better your situation. As far as I'm concerned, though, let's just say that me myself, I'm in a situation where I'm looking at it like, okay, I know what I provide, what I'm going to bring into the situation, or where I come into it. Hello, wife. My wife stepped in. What's up?
Nothing.
I'm streaming, baby. I'll coming right in. I'll come right down after this. Um, so yeah, sorry about that. I'm in a situation where if I am providing and I'm the guy that does provide, right, and I'm doing what I need to do, or woman or whoever, right? When we talk about go getters and people that's saying that they're, you know, just bumping their gums, we're talking about people that's either putting a foot to move to the next potential spot you want to be in, or we're talking about people that just want to sit here and bump their gums. Now, how can you spot that in a conversation? All right, so let's kind of bring this up. If I'm talking to you and we're having a conversation, and part of my conversation to you is, let's just say I just bumped into you and we start saying, hey man, I know, all right, boom, I do whatever such and such a work, and I do such and such a work, and we say, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're confident in your lifestyle, you're gonna tell me that this is what I do in such and such a work. Um, I enjoy what I do. It's easy. It's this. It's that. I live by my means. I'm good right now. I'm solid. Great relationship. I'm happy. Like you're going to be pretty optimistic on not only life, but what you do for work. If you're not, or if you're ambitious, you're going to be like, yo, what I really want to do with life, what I really want to do with work is, I'm here and I'm working towards here in my next 3 to 5 year, right? And then I expect after that to be here in my 10 year, or in 3 to 5, you switch it up accordingly, but you always are keeping a 3 to 5 because you want to know until you get comfortable where you're at or where you want to be at. And if you say, hey, I'm comfortable, this is where I want to be at, that's when you can say, okay, now instead of a 3 to 5, how do I adjust my 3 to 5 to make sure that my 3 to 5 to where I at matters, right? Those are your ambitious people. If I'm talking to somebody and I say, hey man, like, what do you do? Oh, I do this. Where are you at? I'm here. And they say, oh, I don't like the company I work for. Oh, all right. You don't like the company you work for? I can understand that. Some people don't like that, or they don't like certain parts of the company, or they like the company, but they don't like certain ways things work, or the people that they work with, or however it may be, right? That's cool. That shouldn't change you, though. You should continue your work ethic. Like, my work ethic is not going to change. I don't care what it's dictated by the company that I have. They contracted me to do work. So I'm going to do this work regardless. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to be the best at it because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be, right? Because I'm ambitious to move to that next ladder, and that's where I want to be at. And I want to actually help people, and I enjoy what I do. That's the other part. If you don't enjoy what you do, get out of it. Move somewhere else. Don't ruin other people's lives because you don't like what you do, right? But work, do your job. Now I do a little extra. I'm a little I overdo things, right? Because I feel like sometimes my standards are higher than any standards that the company could put on me. So I'm already on it. Like, once I know what I need to be doing, I'm on it. Like, let's just get it done, right? And you push and move things every day. But it's an everyday hustle. Everything is It's gradual, right? If you're in it for the 1 day fame, the 1 week fame, the 2 week fame, or what you think you can do today, tomorrow, whatever, if that's your goal of what you're trying to do or accomplish, you're small minded. So you're never going to make it where you want to be at. And I'm only saying that because if you're small minded enough to actually believe that you're going to make it to where you want to be at by putting in 1 week's effort, 2 weeks effort, 3 weeks effort, 4 weeks effort, you're never going to make it there. Success is built upon a foundation of work. And that work doesn't change upon your feelings. So if I'm having a conversation with you and I say, hey, how is that job that you're working at right now? Or how do you feel about that job that you're working at right now? And, or how are you in life or such and such? And you come back with, hey, well, I can't really stand the job I'm at right now. And it sucks, but, I just got to stick with it. And hopefully something happens with it. But, I go home and, it is what it is. I make what I make and I got to do this and that. What are you doing to change it? You're not doing anything to change it. So how can I sit here and feel bad for you? Work towards your change. Network. Get out there. Do the job. Work. Put the work in. Prove you're good at where you're at. And now that I've dominated where I'm at, I want the next level. Faster you do that, the faster you have to. Once you show that you are an asset to a company, they're going to understand it. People put too much worth into all of their schooling. Yeah, you can get there maybe faster. I think of schooling like officer candidate school when you go into the military, right? Like, you're going to get ahead of everybody off the jump. But if you're going to just hold on to that and think you can maintain and go up, well, a small percentage of people are able to do that. Yeah, you can have the right people backing you and you'll get pushed through. But when it comes to everybody, when it comes to the whole picture, nah, bro, that's not how that goes. When it comes to the whole picture, you got to look at it like this. At that point, you just were ahead of everybody. You came in as what? I guess in military terms. My dad was a Marine. I was not in the military, but fascinated by some things, obviously. But especially with my dad being in there. You come in as like an E2, right? Or something like that. So you're ahead of everybody else when you come in. You come in without anything, you're a grunt. Right? You come in with that, degree or whatever. But that's my point. That guy that came in as a grunt, that's like, yo, I'm gonna be a 4-star brigadier. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the top of the top, the elite of the elite with the generals. That dude gonna be hungry. That guy gonna go out there and make sure he do what he got to do. And when he does that, guess what's gonna happen? That guy's gonna go out there and perform like he's supposed to perform. And if God forbid, anything doesn't happen to him, what's gonna happen? Well, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. My man's gonna go out there and he's gonna be that general, right? Because he's gonna outperform that guy that's up here and he's gonna surpass him. Why? Because his hunger, that desire, what he knows he can do, he's gonna put forth to make sure he does do, right? And that's the things that I'm talking about when I say, it's not about you or me as a person and where we start at, it's where you finish. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's many people that I know in the manufacturing business that started off, on the bottom of the bottom, tech lower, at the bottom of the, janitors and such of facilities, just to come back and wind up being, after they worked their way all the way up to the top, the plant manager. Why? Because they put the hard work and time in and the effort in, and they put the life experience. You got to live the way you say. You got to be who you say you are when you live in that way, right? Like I said, I'm not taking away from anybody. I'm not saying it whether anybody is better, uh, not as good, whatever, or whether I'm better or not. I'm just saying what I believe. No one's also perfect. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? You can preach whatever you want. I can sit out and preach something blue in the face. I ain't gonna sit here and preach to you that I'm perfect either or I'm better than anybody else. I'm not. I have my flaws like everybody else. I'm just saying the realistic things that I feel as though people should believe. Right? So when I look at people that are speaking about being successful and being those go-getters, they always have some type of small incremental plans in place with an overall goal that at some point and in some way, everything in their life is skewed or pointed towards that goal. So every move that they make tends to have that goal in mind, right? Or those goals in mind, or those ladders in mind, or those rungs in line, or that next step in line, right? And that's how success is bred. It's bred through hard work and having the ambitions to do the things that you say you want to do. If you are who you say you are, if you're going to do the things you say you can do, then that is how you're going to be the person that's going to get ahead in life. But you got to put them standards in line and say, this is what I am, who I am, and how I'm going to be. And this is for sure what I'm going to do to make sure that I do the things I say. But if you ain't talking like that, then you ain't believing that. So that means you ain't doing that, which means that ain't really happening. So it's not a real reality. And that's my thing. Oh, how is everything? Look, man, work, my job. If you say, hey, my job sucks, okay, your job sucks. But if the next thing out your mouth after that ain't, but, I'm doing what I do to either better my situation at work. And if that doesn't happen, then I'm going to go do this and I'm going to wear out. Okay, so you putting a plan in place. In that case, all right, you're serious. You know what I'm saying? You value yourself and your time and your worth, so you're going to go ahead and do that. Why? Because you want to make sure that you set yourself and your family up for success. So at the end of the day, like I said, when you don't hear that, you'll hear people talk about how everything sucks, but everything will end with it sucks with no solution in sight. I don't want to hear from that type of person. Talk to me when you're that person that's going to come to, that person. When you're that person that's going to come to me with advice that matters, or when you're saying something like that, but you have something else up your sleeve or in the cards, I got this, popping. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to better it by this. I'm gonna try to work things out like that. If you're not doing that, you're just complaining. Nobody got time for complaints. Everybody got their problems. If you come in with solutions or something that I can speak back to you and talk to you about and say, oh, all right, well, yeah, maybe that will hurt. Well, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. You want to do too much. then I'm giving you the insight that I have to help you. But if you always coming with just problems, it's just problems. You're not even trying to help yourself. Why should I help you? You're not a go-getter. You just talk a lot. Yeah, you want to help that person, but at the same time, you got to see some effort too. Solutions mean efforts. Then, focusing on certain parts of that mean efforts. But you can't just say and not do. So, anyway, man, this is Mac. You watching the Pop Off Podcast. Hey man, hit me in it. Let me know if there's something that I'm missing, that I'm not seeing, that y'all possibly believe that I'm missing when it comes to it. But when it comes to me, if we start having a conversation, or if I have a conversation with anybody and we're talking, and your conversation, to me, when you have issues, problems, anything in life, doesn't somehow in the conversation get resolved with where you're going in life to fix that, then you're not a go-getter to me. I hate to say whining, but you're whining. So, anyway, this is Mac. You're watching the Pop Off Podcast. Till next time, see you then.